You think you know someone until a single night rewrites everything you ever believed about them. That's what I kept telling myself as I stood outside the old diner where it all began. My name is Olivia, and before I became a wife, before I built the life I show the world today, there was another chapter. One I never thought I'd speak about again. A chapter so hidden, even my husband James doesn't know about it. It started 12 years ago, during a summer that changed everything. I was fresh out of college, emotionally vulnerable, and searching for something or maybe someone to fill a void I didn't yet understand. That's when I met Tyler. He wasn't like the guys I'd grown up around. He was unpredictable, wild, charming, and dangerous in a way I didn't recognize back then. I should have stayed away. But when you're 22 and lonely, danger feels a lot like love. We met at a roadside bookstore just outside Portland. I dropped a book. He picked it up, smiled, and said, "Funny how the right words fall right in front of you." That line, cheesy as it sounds now, was enough to pull me in. Within weeks, we were inseparable. But Tyler had a darkness in him that he kept well hidden behind his crooked grin. I begged him once during a quiet night drive to never stop loving me. "No matter what," I whispered, not realizing I was making a deal with someone who took promises very literally. Tyler didn't blink. With a note. "You remembered." I backed away, my breath caught in my throat. He was here, or had been, watching, waiting. And now, I knew I wasn't in control anymore. I checked into a cheap motel that night, heart pounding. I called my best friend Rachel, the only person who knew about Tyler, and told her everything. "Liv," she said, "this guy's not in love with you. He's obsessed. There's a difference. You need help." But help meant exposure, and exposure meant risking the life I'd built with James. Then something happened that changed everything. I returned to my motel room after grabbing a coffee and found the door slightly open. I froze. Inside, everything looked untouched until I saw it. Another note, sitting neatly on the pillow. "Did you miss me?" There was no sign of forced entry. No cameras in the hallway. Whoever left it had a key. My key. My breath caught in my throat. He was closer than I ever imagined. In that moment, I realized something. This wasn't just about me anymore. Tyler wanted to insert himself back into my life, and I knew exactly how he'd try to do it. Through James. I raced back home that night. I couldn't pretend anymore. I told James everything, or at least, most of it. His face went from confused to horrified to furious. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" he asked. "Because I thought it was over," I whispered. But Tyler wasn't done. The next morning, James's car alarm went off at 3 a.m. We ran outside. No one was there, but scratched into the windshield were the words, "She's mine." That was the breaking point. James called the police. A report was filed, but without concrete proof or evidence of a direct threat, they couldn't do much. So we decided to set a trap. James sent a fake message from my phone to Tyler's number, pretending I wanted to meet him one last time. We waited at the meeting point, an empty park near the river. Hours passed. Then, just as we were about to leave, a shadow emerged from the trees. But it wasn't Tyler. It was Rachel. My heart stopped. "Rachel?" I said. What are you doing here?" She smiled, not her usual smile, something darker. "You never asked who sent the first letter, did you?" That's when it hit me. Tyler never found me. Rachel did. She had always been there through every breakup, every mistake. But what I didn't see was that she wasn't just helping me heal. She was making sure I never healed. I loved you, she said quietly. And you chose him. And then you chose James. I didn't know what to say. James stepped in front of me. You did all this? He asked. She nodded, calm. I just wanted her to remember what it felt like to need someone, to beg them to never stop. The police arrived minutes later. She didn't resist. She just smiled at me and said, You asked someone to never stop. I did exactly that. The weeks after were a blur. Therapy, silence, tears. James stayed. He held me through every breakdown. I told him the full truth, every detail, because secrets don't just stay buried, they wait. Today, I tell this story not for sympathy, but for warning. What you leave behind may not leave you. And sometimes, the scariest chapter is the one you forgot you wrote.